To the Supreme God, to my spiritual teacher, to all the spiritual teachers, holy masters, all the saints, holy angels, spiritual helpers, and all the great ones, we humbly invoke for your divine guidance, divine love, divine blessings, for illumination, for divine oneness, divine bliss, divine help, and divine protection. We thank you in full faith. Sweet. So, friends, last class, we did a lot about acceptance. This is the third class. So I wanted to talk about how do we actually do that acceptance? Did we cover that last week itself? How do actually follow acceptance? Anybody can tell me? How come everybody's silent? Can somebody interact with me? Anybody? Anybody attended the last class? Okay, nobody attended the last class. Are you all able to hear me? Not sure.
Yes, Smita, we can hear you.
Okay, so last time did I cover the process of acceptance? I think the how do we accept in the sense staying with that feeling, all that did I do? I think the first class was any of that. This is the third one, no? Third class, huh? Which class this is? Third or fourth?
This is fourth. Fourth.
Today is the fourth. So how to practice is what we did, I think, last week. And then in this week, I just will cover the basics of acceptance and then we start off. Okay. You all can go on mute now. So last week we covered acceptance. So why do we actually need to accept? I think last week we covered that. Why do we have to accept whatever feelings and other things that we are going? We did talk about that because at any point in time, we are that divine being only expressing ourselves um, in an imperfect way, because we are already perfect, right? At a topmost level, at a highest level, we are already perfect. So it's just that this is more like you can think it's like a game. So we are coming to this lowermost thing, lowermost dimension, and then experiencing imperfection. And then from there, going back to perfection. How? With an imperfect body. Because there is this body that if it is not connected, there is the body, it's not the problem with the body or the mind or something. If with the right kind of awareness, you may have seen people like great saints and all that, right? With the right kind of awareness, their body, their mind, and everything will be connected to source. For example, Krishna, when he gave the Bhagavad Gita teachings to people, he was in his highest consciousness. So he had a body, he had a mind, but then he was connected to source. I mean, at the level of that level of awareness, he was talking. So it is not that the body or the mind has that problem. It is that when we have that level of awareness, then our body and mind will respond to that level of awareness. It's like if you have 1 liter of petrol, you can only go that much. If you have 2 liters of petrol, you can go slightly farther. And on top of that, let's say if you have a superior quality of petrol, an inferior quality of petrol, and on top of the petrol, let's say the body or the mind, or in terms of the car, the efficiency of the car is different. So it all depends on the awareness and the previous experience that one has got. Some people may get the same kind of awareness, but they may use their past experience and then behave, hasten farther in their journey. Some people may have accumulated a lot more and they may need a lot, a different kind of experience for that ego to surrender. So every single ego is a version that has been, what do you say, that has been created, or its nature is based on the previous experiences. And each of our different experience, each of our experiences are completely different. And every single time we got an experience, we have based it on our previous knowledge, previous nature, previous experience, right? So every single point is absolutely different. So in that sense, how we take that, once that awareness is given, how we use that awareness and go forward is absolutely unique to each and everybody. So that is what we spoke in the last class. So when we have these feelings, right? When we have, for example, all the POSEs, right? The POSE will trigger certain feelings. For example, let's say your daughter did not listen to you, or your children did not listen to you, or they are really delaying to go to school, right? And they are not absolutely understanding that criticality, the priority of the situation, or what they have to be doing. Like, for example, let's say lunch is served, but they are not coming to the dining table and eating because their priorities are different. There could be so many reasons why you might get upset. So last class also we spoke that it's okay to actually tell the children to do certain things because you know it's the right thing to do. But at the same time, we should maintain our sense of balance. Because why do we lose our cool? We lose our cool because we have certain expectations. Either we think that they have to listen after we say for 2 times or 3 times, or we already think that they are old enough to, what do you say, understand these things, and they should be behaving in the right way because they are old enough. So whatever may be the things, we have a certain expectation. But irrespective of whether they are children or adults, husband, in-laws, whoever is around you, if they are not behaving in a certain way, or rather they are not meeting your expectations. And what are these expectations? Where are these coming from? They're coming from your belief systems. And to simplify to talk about it, I call these belief systems as cages, because they bind us they bind us within some boundary. Because if somebody tries to threaten the boundary, if somebody tries to disalign or misalign with the belief system, you get irritated, frustrated. If somebody is aligning with this belief system, you actually like them. Okay, so it is about likes and dislikes. And you expect your POSEs to actually align with your belief system. So if there is no alignment, what happens? You don't like them, you don't like their behavior, and it may be any situation also. For example, if there is a situation which had to go in a certain way in your favor, but that situation suddenly was becoming unfavorable to you. Again, there is a misalignment with your belief system. So cages have like a Boolean logic, maths Boolean logic. It's a 0 or 1. So whether you like it, whether you dislike it, alignment or misalignment. So belief systems, like I said, even in the past class, or maybe I would have told, belief systems have to be made, and then once they are used, they have to be let go. So you can't hold on to a belief system because they are nice, because you like them, or you were very comfortable with that belief system. It actually doesn't work. Over a period of time, let's say some belief systems are meant to operate only in a certain frequency. But if your consciousness goes above that, whatever is below that, whatever are the belief systems that are below that, we don't know which are those belief systems that are less than that, less than your consciousness, more than your consciousness, all that we don't know. But we are just assuming that There are some belief systems which we'll have to let go at all points in time. There are some belief systems which we will have to bring in freshly, newly. For example, suddenly, let's say you have a certain problem, then you'll be forced to take on some new initiatives or some new principles or something like that. At that time, you'll take in a belief system. It'll be like initially you'll not trust it. You'll not have faith. You'll not have trust. But over a period of time, again and again and again and again, similar things will keep cropping up in your lifestyle. And then you will start to put more and more faith into it, because little by little, it will start to work. It is like a new friend that you're trying to make. Initially, that new friend is still a stranger. You'll just say hi, hello. But over a period of time, as you keep meeting them every now and then, you start becoming very fond of them. You start becoming close. Like that it is. Belief systems are like that. But then let's say you leave that, for example, let's say you relocate from one place to another place. Then you will make new friends. But what about those friends that you left behind in your old place? Those are like your old belief systems. You have to let them go. Or people who died in your life, people who passed away, your own loved ones. We have to let them go, no? We can't hold on to them forever in our memory. We have to bring some logic in our head and say, okay, fine, yeah, they were meant to go. It was their soul plan. They had only their, let's say their Ayu or their lifespan was over. Something, some logic. Again, this is a belief system. Oh, that, yeah, they made up, it was their lifespan was over. I mean, where has it been mentioned? Yeah, in some books. But do I really know by experience that their lifespan was over? No, I don't know. I'm just going to believe that certain belief systems are okay for me to believe because they make me feel comfortable. Right? Some things we don't actually look for logic because they just work for us. So these are the cages. So it is not like we can actually live without a cage. We are jumping from one cage to another cage. That's all. That is the principle of life. It is, as long, even after your self-realization also, there will be certain higher level belief system which will be based on certain truths. For example, even at some point in time, they say that God itself is a belief system, but a very higher level belief system for us to eventually get to a state where we can merge with the void, where our energy can merge with the void and become nobody, nothing. At that level, until that level, there will be some form of belief systems. But it's always important to remember that it's not like belief systems are right or wrong. It is about what works for you. Right? That is what is very important. For you, which belief system or which pose triggers something, does it align with your belief system or does not align with your belief system? That's it. That's the only rule that we'll have to see. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter whether somebody else believes, that is why you have to believe. It doesn't work like that. What works for you is your thing. And whatever belief systems are in alignment with you, and whatever belief systems you embrace, and you feel that it is the right thing for me, some intuitive feeling you'll have, or you feel that it is maybe working for you, it is giving you good feelings. I mean, in relation with the pose, I'm telling you, if pose comes and then gives you a bad experience, discomfort, that is not a belief system that is aligning with you. That's why he's trying to remove it from your life. But if a pose is actually aligning with your belief system, it's actually making you comfortable, even at ego level also, because at some point, until some point, we'll have to still continue with our ego and all of that. So some way we have to keep going forward in life, right? So I'm just giving you the logic of how these cages work in our life. We are jumping from one cage to another cage, that's all. So, and our duty as human beings is anyway a new belief system when it comes. It is anyway keeping us comfortable. It is anyway helping us learn. Everything it's anyway doing. But, and you are actually going with the flow. You are actually not feeling very uncomfortable. You are enjoying the process. All that is there. So that is not a problem at all. We don't have to worry about that. But what we have to focus on is to let go, to be willing to be okay, and not cry about those belief systems that you're leaving back. Like you left somebody when you're relocating, right? You should be able to accept that, yes, when I was with them, when I was their neighbor, it was very good. I had the best time of my life. But now for whatever reasons, I need to relocate to another place. They cannot be my best friends. Rather, that memory will continue with me. Those, I will definitely be grateful for those experiences. And then I'll just move on. I'll make new friends in my new location. Kirti, which example you're talking about? Real
Like
time.
as you're speaking right now, old belief that you let go of, and
For
something else.
example, let's say very something that I can relate to very easily is, let's say I had a let's say a health issue, and that health issue was bothering me. It was an autoimmune issue, and I had a lot of skin issues and all of those things. I was nearly dying, so I was obviously looking for a way out to live, and whatever came in my way, I kept trying it. And as we keep trying, what is the expectation? That it will solve my problem. But at some point you will realize that that doesn't solve the problem. It is still, the problem is still there. Maybe it's solved to some extent, but you're still uncomfortable with going with the flow with this particular new thing that came up. For example, let's say allopathy. I tried for a while, but then I felt uncomfortable because again that had side effects. And so I went on with allopathy as a belief system. I put faith in it and I moved on for some time. And just after 3-4 months or 5 months, again post came and triggered and told me that it is uncomfortable. Next, what I did, I looked for Ayurvedic. It went on for some time, let's say 1 year. I was comfortable. But by the time I reached 1 year, thoughts started coming, saying, I'm going to now quit this medicine. So because it had been 1 year, and then symptoms were it had gradually reduced, but it was there, but it had gradually reduced. So I quit it, and I realized the problem came back again. So again, what happened? You had a misalignment. The same belief that was working few months back now is not working again. So again, it's time to let go of that. It doesn't matter how long you hold on to that. Some beliefs you may hold on for just 2 days. Some beliefs you may hold on for 1 week. Some you may hold on for 1 year. You should see, what is the post trying to tell you? Am I in misalignment? Is it making me uncomfortable? That is what you have to see, that's all. Then I left that also. Then homeopathy, I tried for 8 months. Again, same story. Then again, something else. Some people brought acupressure in front of me. And then they told me about innate healing nature of the body. And then sort of that struck a strong bell inside. It was like a strong belief system, maybe. And I went on. It was like that belief system did not shatter for a very long time. It did not shatter for a very long time. Of course, the flavors of that kept changing. But I still, they told me to quit dairy products and all of those things. So that is when I became a vegan. I became plant-based actually. But then as ethical vegan, I became only in 2014. 2012, all this was happening. So 2014 only, I got new belief systems through another exposure saying, oh, animals are involved, animal cruelty is involved and all of those things. And that ethical angle came in. Until then, I did not even know the word vegan also, right? That exposure did not. So it's like, how did I start embracing some new thing that I was not aware of at all, because it makes me comfortable. It gave me comfort. It gave me some strength. It gave me some surety. It gave my ego some surety that it is okay to embrace it. See, as long as we are in body consciousness, ego has to accept. Ego has to accept. At some point, ego has to accept that this is how I'm going to accept this and continue with this for some time. See, belief systems are related to ego only. But in the body consciousness, ego believes I'm body. But beyond the body consciousness, ego believes that I'm beyond the body. It is like what ego thinks it is. It is thinking that I am the body. According to that, it keeps making belief systems. So at some point, ego is like the ruler of your body as of now. So it has to approve what are the buildings that it is going to build, all of that. So inside its premises, it has to be okay with the construction that it has actually approved. Only that can be approved. So it has to be okay with that belief systems. Sometimes it may choose to just sample that and maybe let it go. So either way, what is the focus? The focus is to make sure that if you're feeling uncomfortable with any belief system, it is time to let it go. That's it. So sometimes it's not easy to let it go because our fondness towards the old feelings of those experiences are very, very strong. And belief systems that have actually spent a lot of time with you, obviously you have put a lot of energy into it. You've put a lot of energy to construct a very nice building, a very nice cage. And that cage is so comfortable. There are some nice plush sofas and all of that inside it. You don't want to let it go. So all of these belief systems, yeah, conditioning, it can be anything. It's called conditioning, any kind of conditioning. Conditioning is what? You are experiencing something based on some certain things. You'll just say, yeah, this is working for me. I'm going to keep it. But what is the focus? Your focus is to let go. That is what actually is a huge issue. Huge issue is not about embracing new belief systems. Sometimes, yeah, some people may have issues with trust and faith and all of that. Whether they have issues with trust or faith, they are actually going forward in their life. But they may have small, they're jumping from one belief system to another belief system. Maybe they may have short jumps. But at some point, they are still making new belief systems only and going forward. And those small jumps also are helping them make some understandings, and it is giving them lessons. It is okay. It doesn't matter whether you are having lack of faith, you are a person who doesn't trust, all that is okay. But are you willing to let go of something that is not working for you? Most of the time, even if you don't understand whether it's working for you or no, that understanding that, oh, maybe this is not working for me, that is why it is that pattern you'll have to see. Because Pose's job is to constantly give you the same things. They will repeat it. You may not understand it the first shot. Second shot, no, sometimes it'll take days, sometimes months. You'll be in denial. Why? Because you want the experience to be like the past. In the past, how was it? It was good, no? The experience was good. For example, let's say if I didn't want to quit dairy, my reason to, let's say, recover my health, let's say if it's not very strong, then what will I do? I'll try to keep going back to the foods that made me really good for the last, let's say, 32 years. Obviously, right? I was a hardcore vegetarian. Like literally ghee in everything and cream in everything and all of those things, malai and all of that. Like I've totally enjoyed. Why will I quit some things? Why will I quit a belief system just because somebody told me something and embrace something new? Unless my reason to jump will be it's like they are saying, let's say if you take these new belief systems, whatever is this reason that you want to achieve will actually fulfill. That has to be very strong. If the reason is very strong, you can jump overnight. But if the reason is not very strong, you'll obviously be like riding in two boats. You'll be trying this also, you'll be trying that also, you'll be trying this also. So your reason has to be strong. And of course, sometimes reason may not be strong. You can't beat yourself about it. Don't worry about your personality. Your personality should be accepted the way it is. That is the whole journey. Because you are not in control of your personality. Those, the training, the experience, and everything is coming from the subtle bodies. The knowledge is also coming from outside. So it has to match at some point. Sometimes it'll take some gradual, the belief systems have to become very strong, right? So like this, if I had not quit it overnight, then obviously I'll be fantasizing about this, trying 1 cup of coffee, all that I would have tried. But let's say if this belief system had, that was my sole path to, let's say, be a vegan or something. Then what will happen when I drink this, something or the other will come up. Because now it's not aligning with my thing, no? So something, some issue or the other will come up. And then again and again, I'll probably eventually, because I know, oh, somebody had told me this is wrong now, don't eat it, don't drink it. Now again and again, if I keep drinking it, that'll be this new belief system that will be poking me and telling me, hey, this is wrong, maybe because of that, maybe because of. So we can't really question whether a belief system is right or wrong. We just have to go ahead and say, fine, if this is not working for me, fine, I'm just going to let it go. That attachment is what I'm talking about. That attachment to something that is not working for you. You know, you're feeling very uncomfortable, you're struggling every day, you're like suffering every day. There has to be some amount of detachment that you need to bring in. God knows how many belief systems I have taken, left all my life. So be it. I'll let go of this also. Maybe there are some new friends that are going to come and give me happiness. It's okay, fine, let it go. Enjoy whatever happened in the past. Let it go. That's it. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, whole life, if you're not able to go and then get that experience, also, yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, 30 years I enjoyed. So you should be able to think something or the other and be willing to let go of your past beliefs. And sometimes it's not easy because we have put so much energy into it. That energy will not melt overnight. So what we should do? In installments, it will get melted. Like, how will it get melted? Pose has to come and give you experience. You have to apply that acceptance. As soon as you put the detachment there, 1% of that will not get that energy. See, it's like I told you in the last example, last class also, if there's a plant and if you don't water that plant, if you don't give attention to the plant, if you are not nourishing the plant, whether the plant is drying or whether it is like looking like this, whatever is it, you don't, let's say there's a parthenium or something. Typically, we don't water partheniums. We don't water weeds. Nature will take care of it when the rain comes and all that. But then do you take care of weeds? We don't take care of weeds. So something like that, you don't put water to it means what? It will eventually die. It will not die overnight. It will eventually die. If it's a big, strong tree kind of thing, then over time it will die. But if it's a like big tree that is like taking water from your ground, from the groundwater, it is actually drinking. That is like, you just have to pray to God only. Pray to God in the sense you have to do sadhana. Because if the roots have, if the roots are so strong that you don't even need to water it, even if you ignore it also, it is getting water from somewhere. What will happen to such belief systems? For that only we need a lot of force. A force that is going to pull that little by little. It's like how elephant uproots trees, no? Elephant uproots trees. We can't uproot a tree. Maybe other animals cannot uproot trees, but elephants can uproot trees. Let's say people like Hanuman can uproot trees. Monkeys, big, like Hanuman type of monkeys can uproot trees. Those Treta Yoga monkeys can uproot trees. Now maybe a crane can uproot trees. So there are belief systems which are like literally sitting there for ages inside us, or we are not willing to let go. Because the reason to switch also is not very strong. So some of these things will need a lot of God's energy. In the group, I had sent this quote, right? Let me just read it again. Yeah. Tam yatha yata, sorry. Tam yata yata upasate sa tathaiva bhavati. So what it means is, as one adores, so one becomes. It is not just about you seeing something and appreciating. It's not just, it is not limited to that. That is like, okay, yeah, law of attraction, what you sow, so you reap, all that we know, karma principle. But what I'm actually talking about is what, for example, let's say there is Vishnu Sahasranama or one of those shlokas, right? In that, you are actually constantly talking about Sahasranama of Vishnu. You're saying you're Govinda, you're this, you're that, you're this. What? And each of those words actually have a meaning, right? What are you putting? You're putting energy to the let's say the Rishikesha inside you, the Padmanabha inside you, the Vishnu inside you, the so and so inside you, so and so inside you. Each of those names obviously has a meaning at a, let's say, higher level. So you are putting water to those plants that are inside you as soon as you utter those words, as soon as you think about those things. So, which is why they say that focus your time, focus your sense organs on something that you want to water. For example, let's say you sing some Mangalashtakam. In many books and all that, I mean, many saints may have composed Mangalashtakam. What is Mangalashtakam? Something auspicious, something prosperous. So, like, let's say they say, may this prosper in your life. May this. So there'll be lots of such shlokas or mantras or whatever it is, or maybe even prayers. I'm just talking about general meaning that gives like this. So when you keep talking about it, or when you keep reading some of these shlokas and mantras and all those things, what actually happens in our daily life is you are putting water to that part of you. Or let's say you keep saying Krishna, 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 Rama, 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 or any form of any god. That is obviously inside you only, right? The demon version of this cosmos is also, that energy is also inside you. The supreme energy is also inside you. At the highest level of energy, highest level of awareness, you are the supreme. With the lowest level, you are the Ravan. Right? There's your Ram at one end and Ravan in one more end. You are the same person. So when you keep saying Rama, 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 what actually you're telling is you are trying to put water to that Rama plant that is inside you. So which is why when you focus your time, it is not just about chanting. It is about where your focus is going and with what intention it is going. It doesn't matter whether you're constantly chanting. You can spend some time chanting, you can spend some time reading mantras, you can spend some time singing for God. You can spend some time cleaning the puja room with a lot of love. You can actually spend some time cleaning your house, thinking that this is a temple and I'm cleaning it for God. So, who do you want to nourish inside you? Is it God or is it the lowest version of God? Lowest version of God is also existing, but just that you don't like the experience of living like that. That's all. That is also God only. Even the demon is also God. Ravan is also God only. I mean, God in the sense, God only created him. He also has a body that God has only taken. But that version is expressing a lot of ego, body consciousness, and all of those things. But why? Because it's too far away from that supreme state of awareness. The body and the ego itself doesn't like it. There is a lot of unhappiness, a lot of all that will be there. So why are we unhappy? Because we are far away from that supreme state that is our original nature. So how do we nourish that? And some of these roots, we don't know how deep rooted our belief systems are. Especially when deep rooted belief systems we see it with our siblings, we see it with our parents, we see it with our children, we see it with our husband, our in-laws. These are all very deep rooted belief systems, because the POSE who's bringing it is very close to you, and repeatedly they have to keep triggering you like this. Chuck, 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 chuck. They have to keep giving you, because that root is so strong that unless you're triggered so often, you may not really get the opportunity to uproot it in this lifetime itself. So every trigger that we get in this lifetime is expected to be uprooted in this life itself. If you're not able to do it, or if something happens and it's not happening, that's anyway, it's postponed to the next life. But it is meant to be done in this life itself. So what do? We should let it go. Yeah, personality. Yeah, I have a greedy personality. I have this, like I used to think, oh yeah, I don't have too many attachment to materialistic things. I used to think, okay. And I was surprised, because when my mother passed away and I went to her house, there were so many things, like my old collections, or my old photos, and let's say lots of fancy, small things. Like literally, you don't have that here in my house. And obviously it was not in front of me, so no attraction. But now it is in front of me. I realized, oh my God, yeah, I mean, I have a huge one. It's not like I had let go. It was a new thing for me. See, it just needs, you can't believe that you have overcome anything for that matter, because we are so, like, we are literally like an ocean of beliefs, ocean of all of these things. So and these are also beliefs only. Yeah, if I take that small book, yeah, my collection from college, all of that, it actually gives me happiness. Yeah, it's nice to sit and read that every now and then. Like, like, I mean, those are the belief systems that I'm talking about. They'll come to just surprise you like this. And I thought, oh yeah, I don't have materialistic attachments and all that. Now there is so many saris of my mother. Now, okay, yeah, I didn't want the saris. No, but then I'm like thinking, oh, should I give it to them? Oh, no, I don't think I want to give it to them. I'll give it to them because I like them more. Oh, this was another surprise that I got. Oh, I don't have some of these attachments, but I am having attachment to who I give it to. So they literally come to like surprise you. But what can you do about it? Can you change? Oh, no, my God, this is wrong. It's wrong to think about attachments and all that. Smita, let it go. Oh, it doesn't happen so easily. What can I do? Oh, yeah, I'm now aware that this is there within me. I'm just going to not care about it. That's all. I'm just not going to bother about it. Yeah, I gave it to somebody who's a lot more favorite. Fine, so be it. For now, I'll let it go. I'll give it to them and I'll leave it. That's it. Next time when it happens, let me see. I'm not actually putting a lot of stress to, let's say, judge my personality. It's okay. It's okay to be not a saint. It is okay to not be a saint. But what is your job? To do things that a saint would otherwise do. Even being a sinner, or even with all of these personalities, it's okay to spend some time in your day on spiritual things, or spend your time that you're doing in any other work spiritually. You can maybe sit in front of God and do it also. You don't have to sit in front of God also and think about God. Think about doing it for God. Either way, if God is coming, there is absolutely no attachment, no giving, no taking, nothing. Just that you should make him your friend over a period of time, because that is you are composed of him. You are nothing but your material. You are made of God material. The only one you are is God. You are nobody else. Obviously, it makes more sense to know yourself, because he's the only one. Whatever joys you ever got in your life, because of all of the belief systems that he has constantly come and brought in front of you, is because he cares, because he loves you. He loves this body, expression through this body, and he's trying his best to take this body to that supreme state. That is a love. Because do I know what is the next belief system I'm going to get in front of me? I don't know. In my conscious state, though, definitely I don't know. When it comes, I will probably see it, observe it, and all that. But then who is this person orchestrating everything in my life? That God, that best friend, who's hidden, who's unknown. who's like in secretly doing everything for me. So this is why this is something where this is exactly why you need to practice gratitude. Gratitude is a very human emotion. It is not a very spiritual emotion or something. It's a very human emotion. In humans, we have this quality. If somebody does good to you, you are actually going to become their slave over a period of time. Literally, if they pour everything of themselves into you and ensure that you're happy, even if you don't ask, literally you'll be so grateful for what they are doing, overwhelmed with gratitude. And then there's no other thing that you're just going to become their slave. You're going to be literally head over heels in love with them. And then you'll do anything for them. It's the nature of the human. So if you don't really have that love for God, start to appreciate whatever blessings you already have in life. And who brought that? That's enough. That's enough to start. So like I said, water that gratitude, water it through nourish that plant of gratitude within you. So you will literally enjoy that journey with your mate, with your whoever you want to call it, friend, husband, wife, lover, daughter, son, in whatever form you see that creator in you, he will come to you in that form. Literally, if you don't see him as a friend, he will not come to you as a friend. He will come to you as a foe. He will come to you as a POSE. I mean, everybody in our life, all the POSEs in our life are God only coming to us in that form because we have that bhav inside us. We see God through that version. It's like, let's say if I'm angry on somebody, it is because God is trying to tell me, hey, you are trying to see me from this angle. And if you see me through that angle, I look like this. I will look like this person. And then you'll still not like God at that time. So God comes to you in the way you worship him. If you worship him with anger, he will come to you through various POSEs who are angry. It is not about right or wrong or anything. So our belief systems are actually getting refined, and we get to that level. So now when POSE triggers it, you should just not nourish it. And it is very important that irrespective of what the quality of your life is, irrespective of what the quality of your personality is, instead of judging that, know that that is the quality of my life because of the baggage I have within me. And I have no control over that baggage, except for like literally not watering. That's the only thing I can do. What can I do? I can spend my time focusing on things that are related to God, because that is a supreme state. So if you focus on the supreme state, somewhere in between you will progress. You will progress little bit at least. Little by little, you'll keep progressing. So it's not like they say, right, if you want to go into politics, I mean, that's a saying, if you want to go into politics, aim for the supreme post in the country. So for example, which is that prime minister in our country. They say president, of course, but then prime minister. So aim for the prime minister. If you are in politics, aim for becoming the prime minister of the country is what they say. So if you are studying, aim for 100%. Why aim for 90%? Aim for 100%. If you're aiming for 100%, if you're studying your best, giving your best, it literally, like, nothing should slip your mind, that way you're studying, then obviously you might either hit 100 or maybe 99, 98, even if there is some mistake. So if we aim for the best, if we are always thinking about the best, and we have ways to think about the best. We have shlokas, we have mantras, we have prayers, we have chanting. We have so many things to connect to God. And on top of that, we can do any work in the house that our role requires and believe that we are actually doing it for him. For example, let's say you're eating. You're eating because there is a driver that is inside you, there is a God inside you, and this body is just a instrument for to feed that food inside and give the experience to the one who's driving. So you are, if you are behaving like a slave, so the slave is eating so that the master can experience it. The slave is taking bath because the master can experience it. So like that, all the time we may not remember. At least whenever you remember, you can think like this. Typically what happens when I'm alone, I'll be remembering all these things. But when I'm again with somebody else, it is like a hit or miss. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't remember. So which is okay, that I can't really, but what I can do is I can focus and focus and focus and focus, repeatedly doing some things that are related to God. For example, what happened, I was chanting like literally 50 malas a day, 3 hours, 2 hours and all of that before my mother passed. And there was a break of about a month in all the rituals, this, that, and although I was mentally very stable, I was not like literally broken or anything. I was applying the teachings and other things, and I was relatively stable. So although I was not doing chanting, I didn't slip off and go into that vicious circle of darkness or anything like that. I was literally okay. I was manageable. So I didn't chant at that time. I didn't do any chanting and all of that. So I lost the touch of it. And there were so many things that happened during this time. My mother-in-law also was not well. Like literally 2 months, I did not do much of this. Too much of work was there. And I was only focusing on thinking of God in my day-to-day work. Like when I'm doing service to them, or when I'm doing some rituals, or when I'm calling somebody. Some way or the other, I had to do some gods. I had to be connected to God. So I used to figure out how to be connected to God, or figure out that my mind is stable, or something or the other. That kind of work I was doing. So because of all that literally chanting work and all went off. So now the only thing that I'm actually able to do is, let's say, light a lamp, do some aarti, or some of those things which I actually did not do before my mother passed away. Before my mother passed away, lighting a lamp was like not a big deal for me. And today I would light a lamp. Tomorrow, if I'm busy, I would not light a lamp. But something changed, some consciousness changed. And then what came as new consciousness, new belief system after my mother passed away, I'm just embracing it. I'm not, I'm not saying, oh, I liked to keep chanting because I thought that was the best thing to do. Maybe I need to do that. I'm not like forcing myself to sit and do chanting, sit and do. No, I'm just embracing something new. Hey, this looks interesting. Some new belief system has come. This looks more like, yeah, it's interesting, it's exciting, it's this, it gives me some, I want to do it kind of feeling. So I'm just doing that only. I'm lighting a lamp, I'm keeping the puja room clean, and I'm doing aarti, and I'm chanting shlokas. Some new shlokas have got added up, which I've never done before. It's giving me joy. Reading Vishnu Sahasranama is giving me joy. Reading some Lakshmi Stotras are giving me joy, which I never did in the past. I mean, never did before my mother's stuff. I did in the past, but maybe last few years I've not done. But it is now coming back. It is like a new thing. So you don't really have to focus on where you're spending time, but as long as your mind is connected to that supreme, you're obviously putting water in the right place. So the more you keep putting water in the right place, right place, right place, somehow the awareness keeps improving, and the quality of your life will absolutely change. It will change. Because if you are nourishing the divine inside you, inside your mind is constantly, let's say, thinking of God in this form or that form, or this way or that work or something or the other, then this mind is obviously not nourishing weeds. It is nourishing rose plants, or let's say sunflower or something like that, some good flowers. So this has to be reflected in your environment, right? This has to be reflected in your pose. There is no way. Now, for example, let's say you have children, or you have people at home who are behaving in a certain way. And obviously, the only thing that you can do, obviously, in acceptance is accept their triggers and not be too bothered about it, and understand that, yeah, it was within me and that's why they are doing like this. All that anyway, we've already spoken about. But what can you do to improve your situation? You should focus on the supreme state within you. Focus on God. Focus on God like your life depends on it. As much as possible. Keep doing, keep doing, keep doing, keep doing, keep doing, as long as it takes. If you're not having so much of time, every day consistently you do. 5 minutes. If you're sitting for 5 minutes every day, sit for that 5 minutes every single day. Let's say someday 5 minutes also you're not getting, 1 minute. Rather than not doing someday, doing little someday is far more consistent than not doing at all. So do one. For example, I was doing 50 malas, and as I was not able to do, I did one mala, which is 108. It finishes within, let's say, 3 minutes or 4 minutes, as opposed to 3 hours. It was okay for me to at least keep in touch with that. But don't expect any feelings also. See, when you're thinking of the Supreme, no, sometimes, yeah, oh, I need to really love God. I need to think about, hey, no, we don't know that person at all yet. We don't know God. We're like too far away. If somebody says, hey, love Modi, do you even care? Yeah, he's a prime minister and all of that. But yeah, as a personality, you may read about him in the newspaper. But then if you have to respect him as a person, love him as a person, you need to know him at a personal level. Then maybe some different kind of feeling will be there. Or maybe even your own friend. For that feeling to come, you need to obviously keep trying to keep connecting with them. Someday or the other, that connection will improve and improve and improve and improve. So don't expect great feelings. Do it even if it's like a chore. Do it with that monotony. Even if you just know this is the right thing to do, just do it. Just keep doing it. But there will be something in your life that you will actually feel good about. Even if you don't want to sit in front of God, do all your chores, obviously thinking it's for God. Like that you can do. And even if, like whatever you do, give importance to the mind, connecting it with that supreme state within yourself. Then it will keep improving. Imagine that from the highest point, somebody is now trying to pull you and pull you and pull you from the lowest point. Little by little, you'll keep going up, no? So that is what is very important. Where is your meditation every single day? Are you meditating on non-God or are you meditating on God? It's like everywhere there is God, but then what is the intention that we have? Is it for my ego or is it for God? So are you on Ravan's side? Are you talking about Ravan, thinking about Ravan, literally your ego stuff? Or are you basically saying, I'm just doing this for God? You don't have to keep saying, God, God, God. Just believe that I don't have any selfish interest here. That's it. So when you think and do your tasks for the best interest of anything, even if it's for yourself, no, nourishing, let's say, yeah, you're eating fruits. I'm eating fruits just so that this body can be strong or this body can be healthy, so that I can serve God more. So that when that opportunity comes, I can actually stand up and serve God. You can probably live in a good, let's say, a rich house, an affluent house. You don't have to feel bad that, oh, I'm living in an affluent house. Maybe I'm like too spoiled. Don't have to think like that. You can just believe that, oh, I am actually living in such a house because I have to think beyond and maybe I have to share with others also. You can bring some reason or the other to be able to do that. But what I'm trying to tell you is just nourish the supreme version within yourself. The more time your mind is applied to those things, the more the mind becomes that. The mind takes that shape. The mind takes that form. So the more somebody keeps saying Rama, 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 eventually the Rama's nature will come within us. So that is what it means. So sometimes we can't think of Rama, Rama, Rama. We may have to think about something less than Rama. Maybe Hanuman. Or maybe even a saint who was thinking about Rama. Because we are not at a state, we are not in a level where we really have to think about, oh, I have to follow only Hinduism. I have to follow only this saint. I have to follow only that saint and his teachings only because I come from that culture. I come from this. Literally, we are not even there yet. We hardly know how to read the Shastras. We can't even judge one saint versus another saint. Like, let's say there is a Dvaita philosophy or an Advaita or Vishishta Advaita philosophy, let's say in Brahmanism. Do I even know the difference between all the three to the level that I can understand? No, I hardly know. Yeah, there are these three saints who just took their principles forward. I mean, literally, you can stand any shloka from any principle as long as, because yeah, everybody pointed us to God only. That is more than enough because at our level, we are so low in that chain of consciousness that we are not even at the level where we can judge and say, oh, I am going to follow only this path and then go to God. No, no, we are literally not there. You can maybe chant one Christian poem also and think that I'm thinking about God. Maybe, let's say when you were studying in a Christian school or something like that and you really liked some poem, some prayer. You can definitely chant that also. Or there are lots of Hindi shlokas. You can actually chant that also. Whatever it is that the different, you can get water from a tap, you can get water from a well, you can get water from, let's say, a pond or something, and you can still go and then nourish some plant. So nourishing the plant is far more important with any water. So make sure that you focus on spending time to improve that energy within yourself. That is all you can do. Keep nourishing the right energy within yourself. But let's say you are distracted in other energies, don't beat yourself about it. Yeah, in 16 hours, you did 2 hours of, let's say, chanting and this and that or whatever. Maybe that too, in that also you couldn't focus. You were distracted. It's okay. It's okay. Give yourself some breathing room there and say, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, fine, fine, fine. Yeah, what? 2 more extra years of doing all this. Yeah, fine. It's okay. I'm not in competition. It's not a matter if you are slow, fast, whatever. Don't compare yourself with anybody. Just put yourself constantly into that space where you're focusing on that energy. That's it. Whether it shows you result, whether it doesn't show you result, irrespectively, just keep doing it. Like how you brush your teeth. Every day you brush your teeth. Every day you do potty. You don't really care. You just do. Like that, it's a chore that you'll have to do every single day. It's like a plant that you need to water every single day. Because if you don't water the plant, all these beliefs, and you'll not get the energy to be able to apply even whatever your teachings are, whatever your learnings are, you can't apply. That strength will not be there. When you put energy into that to nourish the divine within it'll give you strength to apply the teachings, because listening is not so important. All this gyan, that is not very important. What is important is you introspecting over it and then being able to apply that in your lives. There only is your growth. And who will give you that energy? Who will give you that understanding of how to apply, when to apply, idea, all of that? It's like that body should be able to get that awareness, no? That body should be able to take that wattage of energy when God is giving you that awareness. Awareness comes means chuck, one light bulb will glow. But your body should be able to take that, no? If it is not able to take that, no, that light bulb will not glow at all. He will not give you that awareness at all. So for you to be able to say, yes, God, I'm connecting to you. I'm connecting to this divine every day. So yeah, I'm ready for awareness. Give. Then I'll apply. So like that, you should do your duty. Your duty is to just keep connecting to God, connect to the highest all the time, and not worry about all the lower parts of yourself. Don't judge yourself. Don't worry if you're distracted. Just keep focusing. I am going to go and then do this work. How it will turn out, I don't care. But did I show up? That is what matters. Did I do my duty? That is all matters. In whatever form you do that, it doesn't matter, but do it. Every single day, do it. In whatever form. It can be in any form. Just keep doing it. Just that divine has to be nourished within you every single day. There is no choice. And then only parallelly focus on what is this force triggering within me. And then don't rather detach from that. If you're not able to do that, know that you are not having enough awareness to let go of that. The roots of that belief system have gone very deep. So obviously it needs a lot more time, because every single time you just don't water that plant, you don't nourish that plant, it will become weaker and weaker and weaker. And parallelly, if you're doing the sadhana, then God will only try to uproot it. He will only, every single time, he will come and uproot it. Then there is nothing like not watering, uprooting will be happening. So this is the job. Okay, this has to become very clear. And let me explain this concept of surrender. What is this meaning of surrender? Surrender is actually a state of living. Okay, it is not something that you do like a chore. It is more like a state of being. You just trust somebody. But like the way you can tell it is, let's say you have a co-worker, you have absolute confidence in that co-worker. You are a project manager, for example, let's say, and then your team member, there is one absolute confidence that you have on your team member. He's like brilliant or she's brilliant, and they do this work very diligently. Like you don't have to think twice about their output at all. So what will you do? You'll give some work to them and you'll forget about it. Which means you've given to them and you know that you don't have to keep following up with them. You don't have to ask for status updates. You know that they will give you the output, the right output. So that has to be the confidence on God, on the flow of life. Why? Because ego is not in control. That much you should know. That is a fact. It is a fact. If you don't believe it, look at what you are in control of. Question yourself. What am I in control of? Yeah, I'm in control because I did that work. How did you do that work? Because I knew that it has to be done in this way. That's why I did it. How did you know it has to be done like this? How did you know that these are the steps? Because my mind told me that these are the steps. How did your mind get those ideas? Who planted those ideas? You have like thousands of thoughts inside you. How did only these 3-step thoughts come inside you suddenly in your mind? Exactly to that focus. Only those 3 things came. How? How? Did you control it? Did you go to the database, pick it, search it, Google search it? No, you didn't do anything. You just went to do something, chuck. Those thoughts were aligned. And then you did it. So who is this person who is actually giving you all those thoughts inside? That is exactly where you need to understand that I'm not in control. I'm just an instrument. Because I am having the awareness that I am the ego. I'm this body. So when you are the body, you will have to function like a slave. You'll have to be a good slave. As of now, we are not good slaves. We are doing our own manmanis. We say, I don't like this. I like this. I have expectations. We don't follow anything that is coming to us. And it will eventually take time to get and become a good slave. So the moment you put your focus on becoming a good slave, you are actually going beyond this body consciousness state. You are like trying, your ego is saying, you are my master. That line between the master and the slave will dissolve once the slave becomes 100% slave, or the ego becomes 100% slave. The line between the master and the slave will dissolve to some extent, and then it will go one step further. So like that, it will keep going. As long as you have the subtle body, you're still a slave at different levels. See, even if you take the highest persons who are enlightened, they still say it's the grace of God. So there will always be some form of subservience that you have towards God, always, at any point in time. But now, when you are absolutely not in control of anything, it's best to go as per the GPS. You look at the GPS and go. You trust the GPS and go. So this is what is called surrender. And in how can you apply surrender in day-to-day life? Practically, we'll have to apply. No, we'll have to learn how to apply. The only way to apply and learn surrender in your life is to do your work with full quality, with the best of quality that you can give, best of thing you can give. Do that work. Don't expect any results. Forget about the result, which means don't expect anything back in return. I have done this work. Whatever is due for me will come. That should be the trust. There has to be the trust in the outcome. Whatever outcomes come is for my best. I gave my 100%. No, that was your duty. Your duty is you do your job and believe, make up your mind even while doing the job or even before doing the job that I am going to accept every single outcome that is going to come after this. For example, simple things. Let's say you're going out for shopping. I mean, literally not, you don't have to go to great things, small things, shopping. You want to buy some t-shirt or something for your child. And obviously you don't want to be out all day. And let's say your child is fussy. Now what will you do? You'll surrender, dear God, I will do my job of taking my daughter or son to this mall or something. And I will give my best behavior. I will be calm. I will be kind or whatever it is. I will be very, no, like I'll do my duty. But what t-shirt he picks, okay, what t-shirt eventually gets picked, I know that it is because you gave that outcome. And I trust that I will also be happy after the shopping trip and my child also will be very happy. That is a way to surrender. You're saying, you may think that, I wish my daughter, I know that I wish my daughter selects the white, that blue t-shirt, blues with whatever florals or something. But she may probably not like that, but you're saying, okay, fine. I would really love if she would take that blue florals t-shirt. But I'm okay if other outcomes also come. Like she might select some brown t-shirt. She might select some yellow t-shirt or something. So that is how you say, I prefer a certain outcome. I may like a certain outcome. But if other outcomes come also, I trust that God is giving this to me for my best. That is a way to look at life. And if you are making up this mindset even before going to shopping, no, your shopping will be very good. And it's more often than not, your child would have picked exactly what you will also be happy about. Let's say even if she picked the magenta t-shirt or something, for some reason, you'll also be very happy with it. Because you said, no, I trust that you're putting full faith in God. You have delegated that outcome job to God itself. That is how much you trust him, like 100% faith. So like this in small tasks, if you put this 100% faith on God, you will build this habit of surrender within you. And then you'll be able to put that in bigger problems of your life. If you've not practiced this in small things, for example, let's say you cooked some food and then you surrender to God. God, I have cooked this to the best of my abilities and I have tasted it also and I know it is good. But then my family may, some may say, oh, salt is more, some may like less spice or whatever. Comments may come or comments may not come. That's a secondary, but either way, comments coming, kind of comments coming, all those are different outcomes. Just believe that whatever comments come, I know it is for my best. I accept it 100%. Mentally be ready before itself. Because you know that you're a person who might obviously get upset with such kind of comments. Because what happened was, when my mother was living here, I did not even know that she was also very picky about certain tastes and other things, because I didn't know. In the past, we were just visiting each other, like that kind of long term living with each other was not there. So when I was cooking, and me cooking for her also was a rarity, because whenever I would go to her house, she would cook for me. So this opportunity was like almost the first time, especially after the marriage and all of that. So she would say, salt is less, salt is more, or this is less, that is more. Initially, I was like, why? Because nobody in our house actually complains. Initially, that idea that, oh, this is a trigger only, did not occur. I would obviously keep thinking, you somehow have to please her, somehow I have to please her, somehow I have to make this okay for her, and it would stress me out. So that is when over time I realized, oh my God, I actually forgot to apply the teachings. It came after some time. That's when I started to just observe, yeah, whether she says salt is less, salt is more, or whatever, I'm just making this for God. It's okay. If she says salt is less, salt is more, it's okay. That was an outcome that I needed to hear. Let it come. And I would know, no, if some outcome comes and if I have to learn from that outcome, I'll feel bad about it. Some misalignment will happen. There's a trigger. And I know that there's some belief system that everybody should like my food because I like my food. So obviously that belief system was there. So I will know if that outcomes come, if some outcome may come where she would say, yeah, perfect food, great food. Another outcome, which I like, let's say that is a preferred outcome. But there are other outcomes where she says, oh, the salt is not less, the salt is less, or spice is more, or coconut was less. If she says something like that, I should be okay before itself, when I'm cooking itself. Yeah, I'm doing my best. And God, I surrender this entire outcome to cooking outcome, today's lunch thing to you only. So whatever outcome comes, I will take it as your prasad. Because in prasad, we are not fussy. We are not fussy about prasad typically. We don't say, oh, I like this pongal that they gave in this temple. Yeah, it was very spicy. Yeah, sometimes we may comment. But then will you say, oh, I don't like it? And you give it off to somebody? Most of the time, I mean, that is a bhav. Prasad, for prasad, whatever comes to you, you take. That is a bhav. That is a understanding. So take it like a prasad. And whatever work that you do, just offer it to God and surrender. That is surrender. Surrender means, just remember this sentence. I have to be mentally prepared for all outcomes before itself. Let's say you say you surrendered, but then you felt bad about the outcome that you got. It means that you hadn't surrendered fully. You were not mentally prepared for something. That is the understanding. So initially you'll keep trying. You'll get a hang of it over a period of time. So mentally be okay. One example that I always share is uh, uh, for me, more than I hadn't taken COVID vaccine, and neither have my kids. So then it was not about, oh yeah, vaccine has chemicals. It was not about that. It was about why do people take vaccines? Because I don't believe that, I believe that, let's say if some disease happens to me, in the future, I'm trying to protect myself from a disease in the future. So future itself is not known. And it for me, I felt it was a fear-based mentality. So I just chose, that was my belief system. So I just chose not to go with vaccine. And it worked for me. But then when my daughter was going abroad, there were situations where, let's say, the flight would ask for vaccine information, or the college would ask for vaccine information. So at that time, I had surrendered at many different points. So there came up, when I had surrendered, um, I had to obviously surrender for all out possible outcomes. So I need to go through those possibilities in my mind. Oh, this can happen. Yeah, she might probably take the COVID vaccine and get COVID. She might take the COVID vaccine and maybe get, let's say, fall sick or not fall sick at all. She might take the COVID vaccine and even die, because that possibility also was there. Some new stuff went in. So there were so many different outcomes. I went through each of those outcomes in my head and I mentally prepared myself. Oh yeah, okay, if she gets this, if she gets this outcome, then this is how I'm going to face that situation. No. So I went through that in my head and I was like, okay, fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, this much of hard work I have to do. Okay, fine. I'm okay with that. I accept it. Yeah, okay, when she dies, what to do? Oh, that was a huge one, right? So then, yeah, if she dies, then I had to tell myself, oh yeah, maybe it was her sole plan. That's why she died. It's not like COVID vaccine killed her. So it was just a trigger. Vaccine maybe might have been a trigger, but then yeah, if she dies, obviously it was a sole plan to go, so she'll go. So like that, I had to go through all of these outcomes and then be okay even with that extreme outcome of whether she'll die or something. And after I went through all these things and I entrusted this to God, they went for some vaccine, and but they said the hospital people told that the COVID vaccine itself, manufacture itself has stopped. So she didn't get vaccinated at all. And like this, another surrender I did even for the college, because we had thrown off all her vaccine certificates, her immunization record itself from while shifting from one house to another house. It was so old and dirty that we had actually thrown it off. Yeah, why will we need it? We had no clue that people are going to ask. So we had thrown it. Now they were asking for all of that when she was going for graduation in US. And we were like, oh my God, what should we do? We didn't have anything. And the old doctor that we went, the doctor was like, yeah, there is a new vaccine that has come, I'll give you one more shot. And we thought he was also, oh my God, this is not going somewhere. And then we surrendered again because we had no records. We had no vaccine. We had no vaccine at all. And they were asking for records. And something happened, and then like we had surrendered. Whatever outcomes we thought in our head, we said, okay, fine. If that happens, fine. She might not get admission in that college at all. We may have to look for a new college. Or this year itself, she may not get through any applications because she's not having COVID vaccine. Or worst case, she might go there and there she has to get a COVID vaccine in US. Something like that, different possibilities we thought through in our head. And then we said, okay, fine, this, okay, fine. I agree, okay. Yeah, this is hard. I know this is okay. That is okay. Fine. Like we were mentally prepared to go through the consequences of those outcomes. Okay. Sometimes why we don't accept outcomes is we don't like those consequences, those hard works, the feelings that we face. But you should be okay with those before itself. When you're saying I'm mentally prepared for all outcomes, it means that you're running over the outcomes in your head that you don't like, that you have fear. And then you're saying, okay, fine, I'm agreeing. I agree. So when you do all of that real good exercise and then you actually go and then allow that work to happen, no? Typically, it will be very, it will work for you. In the sense, you will actually be aligned to whatever outcome comes. You will be mentally very happy, even if it's an outcome that you did not expect. Somehow that happiness will be like so good that it is not that temporary happiness that the ego gives you. If you get something that you desire, suddenly ego will be very happy and all that. No, it is very temporary. But this happiness that you get, no, is somehow very permanent. You'll remember those examples. You'll keep trying to share those examples with others. It is like a different feeling. Happiness from surrender is an absolutely different feeling. It is because you're connected to God and He gave you a certain outcome. You are in that state of, you are in that present state of mind. You were in that detached state of mind. You were absolutely disconnected from any outcome. It is a beautiful feeling, especially when you get that outcome. So the process of doing that is you do your job. Don't have any expectations after that. Yeah, she got admission. No, without any immunization record, she got admissions. So in fact, so many of her friends have submitted all those. What happened was sometime in the midnight, my husband got an idea to check some website. So as soon as it was very, he had that urge. So like this, God's messages will come. So he had this urge to go and check some website. And then in that college website itself, there was one small paragraph saying from some May 31st or something, immunization records are not necessary or something. He got that. And then we did not submit it all. Now she's doing second year of college. without doing anything, no certificates, no immunization, nothing. So it's like this, it worked for me. And there are so many people who say that it did not work for them. How is it that in the same college you managed to do all these things? They asked us. But then, yeah, she got this note in that website in some process or something, process document or something. And then she wrote to the counselor there. And the counselor said, oh, okay, is it fine? Okay, fine. Yeah, you're waived. And then he gave a waiver and then it all went through. So it's like there is all of these possibilities and impossibilities are actually tailor-made for your learning. You need to understand that. It is tailor-made for your learning. It can definitely be tweaked by the universe to tailor-made, again, if you've already agreed to learn it. Which is exactly why if you learn acceptance and surrender in your life and just go with the flow through acceptance and then trust God in anything, what is the hardest thing that you have to do? You just have to mentally get ready for all outcomes. That is the hardest thing that you have to do. If you are willing to follow the process that I'm trying to teach here, trust me, you will be in heaven in the same circumstances that you are. It is a beautiful feeling. You will start to love life the way, I mean, I can't even describe it. You love life like anything. If you are aligned to God, in any circumstance, you'll be happy. So all of this needs practice. You should be trying to do with small practices. And in small activities of your life, do surrender. Say that today I surrender and then I will I'm planning to fold these clothes. Just surrender. The outcome can be that you may fold the clothes, you may not fold the clothes. Surrender and be saying, oh yeah, if I fold the clothes, yeah, I know that is the best thing to do. So I'm going to be very happy. If I don't fold the clothes because there are other priorities that took over or something, I'm going to be okay with that also because I know that that was the best thing to do. And that is what God wanted from me today. As an instrument, he didn't give the slave folding clothes work. So I didn't fold the clothes. I'm okay with that. So if you are mentally ready, typically what happens is he will somehow squeeze the time and then make you fold clothes. And you'll actually be happy. Even if you did not really think that you get to fold clothes at all, you were very busy, somehow in that you'll get to fold clothes also. Or there is another outcome where somebody else will offer to come and then help fold the clothes. That also is, see, when you're preparing for some outcomes, right? Mentally getting ready for some outcomes and saying, okay, yeah, here I have fear, here I have anxiety, but I'm okay. There are other N possibilities that can happen, which is not ever in your mind. You are a limited person, right? Your consciousness is limited. Your conscious mind, your ego can think only of certain things, that's all. But what about other possibilities that you cannot even think of at this time? Those also will happen. So anything can happen. Why we actually don't surrender is because we think that if I let go of control, then anything can happen and I'll be like literally in the water. No, it doesn't work like that. If you do this process literally properly, you will have the best feeling of your life. And it takes time. If something you are not feeling best at that time, just trust that you just have to improve your process of surrender, your mental readiness, surrender. So see, even when we accept, when we don't give attention to those triggers that we get, are we just leaving it alone? What is happening in the background? We are surrendering only. We are just letting it go. We are not giving that attention. Who did that homework with that? Who did that sweeping job? God only did. Because we surrendered, because we just let it go. We are not putting our holding on. We are not holding on to it. Whatever you are holding on to will not get God's attention. Only when you let go, only you'll get God's attention. And it is going to be the best. God knows the best. Because he is this helicopter who can actually see the future, past, present, everything. But this ego can only witness the present. Even in the past, it can't go. It can only think of memories, but physically, it can't go to the past. Physically, it can't go to the future also. So, okay. So this was about acceptance and surrender. And very important, focus on nourishing the divine within you as much as possible. As much as possible. Like, the way I see that is, if there is a very challenging situation in my life, yeah, acceptance is there, all that is there. But what more can I do? I have to spend time with God. I have to spend time not doing WhatsApp, not chatting on social media. I have to give my precious time to God to nourish my divinity. Yeah, I will still do social media, I will still do WhatsApp, but when at least little more, maybe 2 hours, maybe now 3 hours, or maybe 1 hour, maybe half an hour. So try your best. Wherever you are, focus on improving from that point itself. Okay? I'll just see these chats. There were so many chats that were coming here. So our belief is actually our ego keeping us comfortable and making us learn what we need to do. Yes, yes, Lekhika. It is, our job is to make sure that we are once we become comfortable with the belief system, right? It is time that you need to remember that once you are very comfortable and you're like, when you're in that state in any belief system, no, that is it. It will be taken away from you. You will have to let it go. That time will come. It's like near. You can think it's very near. So become comfortable with the fact that in life, you have to jump to an uncomfortable belief system, which is like very new to you. You're not still having faith. So it's an uncomfortable place. So you have to jump into an uncomfortable place, and you have to stay there and make it comfortable. And then you'll jump from there again to an uncomfortable state. So you should become comfortable to keep jumping from one uncomfortable state to another uncomfortable state. Got it, no? So that is what is this one. So I had this very question about vegetarianism. Okay, we'll talk about it. Sometimes we feel so invested in our beliefs to let go. It seems it's a belief. Yes, yes, it's that is the whole issue, no? We don't want to let it go. Otherwise, what they say is, in this moment, if I'm willing to believe that I'm not this body, if I'm willing to let go of all the things that are related to this body, like literally dropping it, we will actually be self-realized right now. There are people who've done it in one life itself. There are so many people, like you can read some stories in the past. In one life itself, they've done off all of those things. Yeah, it is how that body was meant to be, that journey was meant to be. We can't compare everybody will be like this karke. Just believe that it is wherever you think that you are not able to let go of a belief, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, and nourish the divinity within you. Someday it'll all balance out and you'll be able to get past that. Apply the teachings, keep doing that, because you don't know how deep your belief system is, right? You don't know how deep it is. You don't know how many are the nested belief systems also. There are some nested belief systems. Like one will be there, related to that one more belief system will be there. Like literally we are, I don't know, millions and millions are there. The only thing that can remove us from these belief systems is the connection to the divine. We ourselves cannot keep doing this process all the time because it's too much. It's too much to handle. We can't experience only and keep removing it from our life. We have to also be able to do this divine work, divine nourishment within us. And then without experience also, many belief systems would have gone. Without your knowledge also. It is okay. It goes off like that. That is why they say, right, in Bhagavad Gita, you put your faith in me. Drop all your expectations, surrender. And I will promise that all your belief systems of your past lives and everything is dropped. That is what Krishna says. He's promising. Why? Because in that detachment, you may think that this is going, but God knows what all also left you. What other cages melted, you don't know, no? So that is what is very important. That you don't know how many cages are melting when you are connected to this divine. So focus on that divine aspect of yourself a lot. Yes, wherever there is awareness, you're applying surrender, you're applying acceptance, all that is there. It's very intellectual. But we can't keep doing this intellectual business all the time. It is too much to manage. It's like a huge mountain, huge Everest mountain. We can't keep picking one stone by one stone, one stone by one stone, and keep repeating this process. It's too huge for us, for our ego to even comprehend. You'll get tired over a period of time. What is the best thing to do? Drop your expectations from life. Focus on giving the best to any job that you're doing, and try to learn surrender. So it's very simple. Learn surrender to God, connecting to God, be nourishing the divine, all that highest point within yourself. If you keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that, that itself will remove you from this. Without your knowledge, how many jumps you have made also, you won't know. How many cages are melting on a daily basis without experience also, you don't know. Without triggers only, they are melting. Without it coming to your attention itself, it's melting. That is very important for you to understand. So hence, it's very important to be connected to any form of divine spiritual sadhana on a daily basis. Even if you can't sit, in all your work, see divinity. Like work is worship. Think about all work as worship. Think about every single person, or every single work that you're doing is work. You're doing it for becoming a good slave of God. I want to be a good slave. That's it. Whether he sees, whether he cares, it doesn't matter. You be a good slave. You know how to be a good slave, right? So try to be a good slave. If you focus on becoming a good slave, obviously things will obviously show a shift. Can you repeat that line? I don't know which line. Then what happened to the college admin without vaccine? Yeah, I told you, right? Then how do you sit and figure out what belief system you are holding? I don't know what belief system I'm holding. I'm just saying that if it makes me feel uncomfortable, for example, um, let's say my daughter did not listen to me. And just this morning it was happening. I was like, I needed to leave to some place at 11 o'clock. And then she was not even coming upstairs to even close the door, even until 10, whatever, 10:50, 10:55, whatever. I needed to book and leave and all of that. So I was like, come up, come up, come up. So isn't that an uncomfortable situation? I'm like, why are you making me call you so much? So many times. That's an uncomfortable state, right? What is the best thing? What is my ego expecting? As soon as I call, my daughter will be like right here saying, Ji Huzur. That is the best. That is the belief. The belief that as soon as I call, my daughter should be right in front of me saying, yes, ma, I'm here, ma, for you. Do whatever you want me to do. But what they don't do makes me feel uncomfortable. You don't like it. This is when I know that my belief system is not working for me, because I have expectations that they have to align with my belief system. So it's not their problem. It is they are not coming, them not coming when I call them, and is showing me that there is a belief system within me that makes me, it's an obstacle for my self-realization. So obviously, what should I do? I should just not give it so much of attention. Oh yeah, if she's not coming in time, what is the best that can happen? What is the worst that can happen? Yeah, I might leave a little late. What will happen? I was not going to some emergency meeting or something. And then I just called that person and I told, I might be slightly late for some reason. I just told, and I went half an hour late. So I should be okay with letting it go, because I need to see where all I can surrender. I surrendered and said, okay, yeah, fine. This is the outcome, right? So I'm going to be late here, right? It's okay, fine. I said, yeah, what max can happen? I just called them and I said, I'm going to be 15 minutes late. So she said, oh yeah, no problem at all. It was not some office meeting or something. It was just that I was going to somebody's house. So like that, are you going to react to that situation that is going to make you feel uncomfortable? It will not help. It will not help. You should just stop nourishing that belief system. That's all. You don't have to react to it. So like my Gita teacher says, when in Hindi, rather, they call it that speed, the speed in which the desire and the anger is going. Endure it. Endure your desires and the speed in which it is going, right? Stay with it. You don't, like literally endure it, she says. Let's say there is a desire to run after something. Just watch the desire and see how desperate you're getting to run behind it. So what she's saying is just, it's okay, be desperate. Be desperate. Stay. Just stay with that. Stay with that and endure it. That is what she says. So in Hindi, it is like, काम और क्रोध के वेग को सहो. Saho. Like just bear it. Bear your desire, the way, the speed in which your desire is going, or the speed in which your anger is going. Bear it. Because there is no need, there is no point in nourishing those things, because you'll never get anywhere. You'll come back to the same point as what she's saying. So this is where you are actually not putting water to those weeds. This is where I said, don't water those weeds. And this is where, if you learn to surrender, you will obviously know, okay, there are other outcomes that I'm not liking. That is why I'm not willing to surrender. So be okay with other outcomes also. No, it will be okay for you. So that is what I was telling. I'll come to you, Kirti, 2 minutes. Right now, I'm experiencing that even letting go doesn't happen in one go, at least right now. Which is why I told, right? Sometimes not able to let go, not able to accept, or which means you need a lot more energy within you, right? To God within you. So keep putting that investment in God. Someday the returns will show there also. It is like a bank account. It is like an investment. It is like a systematic investment plan. You have to keep investing there. Someday you'll have the enough money to be able to withdraw and then buy something. If you don't have the money to buy something today, obviously you'll have to work hard for earning more money. So which is what I said, invest in your spiritual balance. The more you invest in your spiritual balance, it will keep obviously giving you more and more, and it will get compounded also. The returns will get compounded. Rather, the interest will get compounded in the spiritual balance. So if you don't have money to do something, if you don't have the awareness to do something, it is not working for you. It is not you're not able to apply something so easily. It is because you need a lot more investment. So you put that effort to investment. Tomorrow, when that accumulates, automatically it will reflect in your head and you'll be able to apply. Today, if it's not reflecting in your head, it means that you are not there yet. It has to come. So put that energy there, it will eventually reflect back. Okay, I hope I've answered that question. So yeah, Kirti, I think I've answered all the questions on chat. You can answer. You can ask. You can unmute yourself.
Yes, Mita. Okay. Now what I have is, okay. I went through a photo like just few minutes before the class.
Photo.
And yes, it's a photo of my engagement, and it triggered a series of emotions. So now there are like tons of, as you said, nestled belief. It's somehow, how do I do not know, because this is a recurring event. This whole nestled belief has been on repeat for the past, say, 8-9 years. So I do not know how to move on, because doing my sadhanas and all that, being there, I am not able to
your gift, Mom.
It's like, okay, you can mute. So what I understood. So what I'm trying to tell is, if let's say there are some certain things that have happened in the engagement that you dislike so much, that and you wish that it would have happened differently, obviously it has already happened. And you are still feeling bad for what happened, and you still wish that something good would have happened. But yeah, it finished happening and now it's in the past. You can't go back to the past. It is like that water that has left your hand, or it is like that sand that has left your hand. There is no use of crying on spilt milk, they say, no? It is like that. You just have to, whether you like it or no, it has gone. It has come, it has been, it has happened like that. The turn of events were like that. If you choose to keep it and keep expecting, oh, I wish it had happened like that, I wish it had happened like that, you'll keep wishing in that cycle for a long time, because it will never happen. Instead, just say, oh yeah, it already happened. I wish. It's like the same thing, surrender, no? So you prefer a certain outcome. If you had surrendered, for example, before the engagement, you prefer a certain outcome. But then if another outcome would have also happened, it happened because it was the right thing to happen. And you needed to learn from that, which is why it happened. What is the thing that you were learning from this? You carried it for, let's say, so many X years, and now you're learning to apply surrender here also. How do you apply surrender here? Oh, there is this engagement that is actually not giving me peace. There is this engagement memory that is not giving me peace. So what is the duty that I have? I'm going to choose to surrender and say, God, I'm willing to move past this, and I'm going to accept. Rather, I'm going to accept that that was the right thing to happen. Now, what are the other outcomes that can happen after this choice of yours? It will keep haunting. The same thoughts will keep haunting. That is one outcome. Or some new, when those thoughts come, you will probably say, oh, I've already delegated it to God, Appa. Now I can't go and put my head into it. After delegation, I can't interfere with that. You have to stick to that principle of yours. I'll give you an example. I think I've told this in other classes. My in-laws are very orthodox. This happened many years back. My in-laws are very orthodox. Then they were orthodox. Now they are like typically very cool. So they were very orthodox, and they would not let anybody enter the kitchen. And I was working also at that time. I didn't have time to clean the kitchen. So they would not allow anybody else to come into the kitchen. So what I told is, hey, this kitchen is not mine. Nothing is mine. This house is also not mine. They say this body is also not mine. So why should I bother about this kitchen? Yeah, it's easy to say. But yeah, you are this daughter-in-law who has to keep seeing the kitchen every single day. And then you have to see the cobwebs there, or you have to see some ants there, or you have to see some dust there. Everybody will say, yeah, I'll help you. But then there is nobody to come and actually help you. You are the one who's seeing. There is this dust trigger that is doing, dust is triggering you, ants are triggering you, or maybe some cockroaches are triggering you, or something or the other is constantly triggering you. And then you're like bugged every single day. So you are the one who's facing all those triggers, right? So it is bothering you. So, but then I surrendered. I surrendered and said, God, your kitchen, your cosmos, your everything. So I don't care. So you can make me your project team member, but I'm not going to be project manager for this. I refuse to take up ownership of this work. And I said, I'm delegating this to you. It's your job. And I surrender. And if you want me to work on this, I'm willing to work. Okay, that's one outcome, right? I didn't want to work on it. That's why all this headache started. But then if you want me alone to work on it, I will work on it because you gave me that job. But in my head, it has to be very clear, and I have to be very okay with me doing that work alone also. Like you fix my mind. You fix my mind such that I'm okay with doing alone also. Today, I'm not willing. But tomorrow, if you want me to do this, that's one outcome. I'm the only one working on it, means then also I'm okay because it came as an outcome and because you are making me do, and I trust that in my head also, I'll be okay. So I trust with that outcome. Okay, that's one outcome. Another outcome, let's say that maid is going to come into the kitchen with me and then she's going to help me. And then another thing is, let's say some cleaners are going to come and help. So there are other outcomes that I saw at that time and I said, okay, okay, okay for everything. And this went on. Okay, every single day I'm getting these thoughts. Hey, Smita, God is not there. Yeah. You may delegate everything to God, but then you are the one who's working here. And you may pray to God and all that, but you are the one who has to action. He will act through you only. All of that doubts came. I said, no, nothing doing. I have delegated it to him. So every time that thought would come to constantly keep reminding me to like, do it, do it, do it. I would tell my head, don't bother me. I've delegated it. Don't bother me. I've delegated it. Whole 1 month I've pushed this. Literally 1 month, I don't know how many thousands of times it has come to my head. And I have pushed off. And I again got busy with something else. Because I was like, I have delegated it to him. In my head, it's still not like that settled kind of feeling. Do kind of feeling is not there. Assignment has not come to me feeling. So I'm not doing. So this went on for 1 month. And after 1 month, there was this very strong urge to go and ask my mother-in-law. She was going out. So can I call this maid and get it done through her? Both of us will finish. Oh, that day she was like, yeah, call her. Get the fridge also cleaned, all that she said. I was like, oh my God, what am I even hearing? And literally this happened. And she said, okay, they went out. By the time they came back, everything was cleaned. And I was okay. Next time when I tried to apply the same, and I went and asked her without surrender, she was like, you don't know? We don't allow anybody inside the kitchen. I didn't even argue. And I didn't even remind her, last time you had agreed, no, all that argument I did not do at all. I just, in my head, I started analyzing, oh, last time I surrendered, this time I didn't surrender. So surrender is a state which is accepted even in quantum physics. If you talk about law of attraction, all of those things, they talk about surrender. They talk about a state where they say, let go. Once you ask for something, let go. Don't have a desire to go behind it. So surrender is a state where you're not even asking for anything. You can, of course, you're just asking for a certain work. You have a certain, let's say, a subject, and you're just saying that outcomes of that subject, I'm okay. But there are people who apply surrender even in conscious manifestation. What do? They say, I want that job. I want to work in Amazon. And they keep doing all of this, constantly thinking about Amazon, visualization about Amazon, blah, 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 all that they do. But then what the process says is, do all of that and you let it go. Let it go means don't keep obsessing over it. Don't keep thinking, it is time. It is already 15 days. It is already 1 month. Oh, Amazon is already opening up its job offers and they are going to close in another 5 days. Don't keep thinking like that is what the universe also, those principles says, right? That conscious manifest. So in anything, what is the only thing that works? Surrender. Even those people surrender. But when they ask for something, so typically why surrender by not asking anything is a higher principle is, you're not asking for anything. You're saying, I'm okay with everything because I know that was part of my syllabus. Let's say you have 5 subjects. You say, I like maths, I like science, but I don't like Hindi. I don't want to study Hindi and English. Will that work? Will you pass if you don't study? No, you will not pass. For exam to pass, you have to study all 5 subjects. So like that, all 5 outcomes are necessary for you. So you should be okay with all 5 outcomes. Or 10 outcomes, or how many n possible outcomes. So be okay with all outcomes. You can do anything, you can ask for anything, but what comes to your plate is none of your business. No, you can't question that. That is what you need to practice. That is very important. So even in this engagement thing, be willing to look at it as something that had to happen. Why should it happen? Always aligning with your belief systems. Like we've always seen belief systems misaligning and all. It was the time for some trigger or some POSC to come in your life, and then it did not align with your principles. So it was a clear trigger. And which belief system are you having within you that is needing to let go of? So focus on the process. Don't focus on drama of life. Thousands of dramas will come in life for the same belief system. We don't want us to focus on drama. We want us to focus on process application of getting better with process applications, getting better at applying the principle again and again and again and again in every single circumstance and getting better at that. So don't have attachments to anything. Be having attachment to getting better at the process. It is like Project Kirti. In Project Kirti, you have to master surrender, you have to master acceptance. That is all. And whether somebody falls, whether somebody gets up, whether somebody makes you happy, whether somebody doesn't make you happy, whether somebody aligns with you, whether somebody doesn't align with you, it doesn't matter, because tomorrow, if you die, you will not carry anybody with you. And nobody is here for you. Everybody is just showing you a mirror image of you only. Nobody is actually fully there for you. What you're not seeing their real them, you're seeing real you. So it's everybody is you only. If they hurt you, it's you. If they please you, it's you. You are seeing yourself. So obviously you should get better at the process, because all that you will see only is yourself. So how can you expect them to be different? You are just surprised that somebody is not like that, actually.
Now the thing is, when I said about the photo, the thing is my life pivoted 360 degree. Okay, like till then my life was going in one direction, and then it started going downhill from, where do I say, from the thoughts that I'm not enough, I am this and that. Like I reached out to you with those messages, no, the neurodivergence and all of that. So there was a whole, how do I tell you, a lot of unpacking to do. So I'm finding a great deal of trouble. And
Don't look at it as a big chunk.
in
the present moment, take it. In this present moment, what is the trigger? In the next present moment, what is the trigger? Don't connect the dots.
Okay, like you said,
Because in this present moment only something is happening, right? Some trigger is there in the present moment. That's it. That is the only one that you need to work on. Don't look at the entire syllabus in your head. When that comes to you, that is your focus of attention.
Okay.
Don't connect and make it like a big task. Because
so what
you don't have the big picture in your ego. Your ego can't think of that big. It can only focus on the present. It cannot do anything else except but observe the present. It has no way of controlling anything. You can't actually intellectualize this and say, oh, this is a big area that I need to see. What are the belief systems? No, unless it comes in front of you as a trigger, you can't even handle it. Front of you, in the sense, even as a memory.
But what do I do when I'm in that thought? See, I have programmed myself, like I told you before, for over 8-9 years, that my head used to run like 360 degree, just running through those files over and over and over and over again.
So if you're not able to accept, if you're not able to apply the teachings yet, so what is missing? Sadhana is missing. And it doesn't mean that you do meditation for, like, I did meditation for so and so X. And at that time it was okay, but now it's not okay. Yeah, we have to keep doing it. It doesn't mean you need to only meditate. It doesn't mean that the process actually should give you returns also. You just have to show up. It doesn't matter how you show up, when you show up, how much. So keep showing up. Today you may just earn 1 point with it. Tomorrow you may earn 2 points. We don't know how many points we earned also. But just keep doing, just keep doing, just keep doing. You'll only know that you have improved when you're able to apply with the understanding that comes from within. Smita won't be able to teach you this. It is not an intellectual process. She's giving you a general direction of how things will turn out, and you don't have to be surprised when the awareness comes from within. Because what comes from within only you will be able to apply. If you're able to understand what I'm saying, it is because you are at the level where that consciousness is allowing you to understand, and that understanding is coming from within.
Mm.
Because I'm also your pose, right?
Mm.
Everything, every database is within you. That knowledge is all within you. If you're not able to, you may able to understand, but if you're not able to apply, more level of awareness has to come. You have to progress a lot, some more, and you can't jump to that state.
So
You
with my
can't jump to
sadhana,
that state. You have to wait for the sadhana to take you to that state, or
True, true.
automatically in the gradual process of evolution, you have to go to that state. Then you will, like whatever you understand till now, which you sufficiently been able to do till now, is because you went past that state and you were able to finish it. But there are so many things which you need so much more energy to be able to execute it, no? So
Mm.
that you can't intellectualize it and do it. It comes naturally. You will only be aware, oh yeah, this teaching is there within me. But you try to apply, yeah, it's not working. See, this, who is also making you try to apply? God only within you. Even if you're moving your hand, even if you're executing a thought, that God only made you do it. Today, if you want, if he wants you to believe that you try Kirti, but you'll not be able to do, take that only as a trigger. Are you able to accept that? I will apply, but I can't. I will try to apply, but it won't work for me, or I can't understand. Can you accept that about yourself? Is what is the question. So accept yourself even if you are in a confused state. Just do sadhana.
Okay.
Just do
With the
sadhana. Keep doing the,
with the sadhana.
if Vishnu Sahasranama or anything like that is resonating with you, do it every single day. Maybe
the
1 year,
sadhana,
every single day you did. You'll see the magic. Or
it
do
has helped
gratitude
me.
practice every single day.
Mm.
See, that energy application is very important. That deficit,
Mm.
filling that deficit is important.
Mm.
How you fill that deficit? Are you consistent with filling that deficit? It's very important. Today, if you have dipped and you are, see that restlessness that we feel that I can't do this, I can't do this. We need to get out of that.
Mm.
We need to say, okay, this is what I am. This is who I am. This is where I am as of now.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. It's okay to be where you are. You not being accepting where you are is a problem. Accept yourself and be comfortable wherever you are. Just do the sadhana, wherever, in whatever pace, how much ever speed it keeps taking you forward. It's okay. Whatever is happening is as per your soul plan. Be okay with uncomfortable states. Just don't give too much of attention to going back to comfort zones.
So with my sadhanas, it has helped a great deal. I can feel that, pain released and all of that. Like layer shedding of dark toxicity, or I don't know what all to. I've been down to that asura level, that emotions, that raw feeling of everything, every possible. I don't know, like that I can say every possible, but I have tasted a great deal of those lower vibrations. Now, but when I'm coming to this, the first thought that came to my head was when I saw that picture. I feel so proud of myself. I know I'm operating from a level of ego, but I just saw how much I have traveled. That photo made me think of, why I had to go through this process. I had to shift a great deal of the same thing, like you said, you thought you're not attached to things and you realize that you still are. So it was the same way. I thought I was not, I didn't think it has to be in certain way and people have to be in a certain way. I realized that I was holding on to a lot of that, and I really understand. I appreciated myself. And then there's this thought, that pain that shoots. So I do not
Those
understand that.
things have to be endured. Pain has to be endured.
Okay.
Stay with it. It's okay if you have pain. So what?
Okay.
Pain doesn't have to be released by you. Pain
Okay.
has to just be stayed with.
Okay.
It has to be, you have to stay with that. It might take 2 days, it might take 3 days, it might take 1 year.
So when I stay with it, what is essentially happening is I'm going to those thoughts, and it's
Okay.
aggravating. It's
Okay,
aggravating.
be
Like,
with those thoughts. See, when those thoughts are coming, right, that is also like a release. It is coming to the forefront and then only going out.
Mhm.
It is like a screen. In a movie, what happens? One frame comes, and then the frame comes to the front, and then the frame goes off.
Okay.
The way we detox thoughts, emotions, and all of that, it has to come to the forefront. And then you'll experience it. And then you don't have to put attention to it. See them as passing clouds. Even when you're doing chanting or something, so many distractive thought comes. They say that you don't have to pay attention to it. Just let it go. Let it go means, why am I getting distracted? No, it's okay. Even you keep thinking, looking at those distractive thoughts also and keep saying Rama, 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 Rama. It's okay. You don't have to think of Rama also while taking Rama's name. Over time, there'll be nothing more to release. Everything will be empty inside because they kept going, they kept going, they kept going. We have to wait for those kind of states. So it's okay if those painful thoughts come and all of that. It's okay. Okay. So hear these things again and again. You have to endure the thing that is getting released. Thoughts, emotions, beliefs, whatever it may be. See, beliefs cages are anyway melting. But what we are actually experiencing is an emotion or a thought and all of that. So stay with that. Stay with that means it'll keep going, it'll be there in your head. Just let it be in your head. Don't take action on top of it. Like, don't react to it. Don't go and shout at somebody. Don't take physical action on it. Don't do any such thing. That's all. That is called staying with it, which means you saw it and then you felt the urge to do something, but you actually did not do. You said, chalo, I'm not taking any action. It's okay. It's okay. Let it go. Like a cloud that is just passing by your head. In the past, you wanted to break open the cloud and then let the water and all of that. But now you're just saying, let the cloud pass. Okay. Yeah, Manju?
Smita, it's very late. I can put it in the chat also.
Okay, Manju. No problem. If it's not important, I mean, if it's a small thing, then I can tell now itself.
Yeah, it's a small one. It's like, my question is like, anyways, like we are moving from one belief system to other belief system. We are holding on it. But how do we decide that the holding new belief system does not support us anymore, that we have to let it go? When do we
Try and see. If it is constantly showing you a pattern of discomfort, initially, the first time itself, you will not know, no? You will not let it go, obviously. The idea that, oh, this is a trigger, by the time that comes, it would have already occurred 20, 30 times. Before that idea itself won't come to you. Then only you'll be able to. See, it's okay, even if you don't nourish that, try to apply acceptance and see. Try to apply that principle that we discussed here and see. If it is not for you, then it will go off.
If it's very specific, Smita, I'm just getting some thought that the work I'm doing is like does not resonate with me anymore. But my gratitude for my work and my dharma for every day I have to do this work kept me going actually.
See, one thing with respect to all of these things is, are you still doing your duty towards that? Are you still in likes and dislikes? I understand likes and dislikes and all that. But many times when we apply the principles, acceptance, belief system and all of that, sometimes it may confuse us. But am I still doing my job and giving zero expectations? Am I surrendered? That will take you beyond. It's like, even when you're doing this acceptance work, you're still at ego level only. You're trying to apply the teachings through ego only, mentally only, to that level. But when that is also getting confusing, when will actually help you? the principles of connecting to God through surrender, then it will sure shot work. You'll tell God, I am going to keep doing my duty as long as it takes. I know that this is a job that I'm not liking anymore, or I'm not resonating with this anymore. But I know that when the time comes, you'll give me the right outcome. So until then, keep doing. That is what is the right servant. Servant may not like that work, but servant will still keep doing as long as master will keep giving you that work. So even though when you can't apply any of these principles, just go back to becoming a servant. It will always work. Okay, thanks, Manju.
Yeah, I'm just doing the same things, Smita. Traveling with the two different contracting ideas, but every day I'm just going with a sincere gratitude on that.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Actually, Lakshmi.
Hi, Smita.
Hi.
So quick thing. So I experience this, the chanting or thing every time, every day when, in the past 4 months when my mother was sick. So I gradually see that when it has reduced, I kind of get back to kind of a lethargic attitude, which I am again getting back to practice. That I am doing. So one thing which I quickly want to check is when there is some kind of a time bound thing, I cannot um, I have to do something because it is very time bound. So very simple example which I wanted to bring here is my son's exam. I told about this in the last to last also. Last class I couldn't attend, but last to last class I told about the exams. Okay, I have to, he is not studying. You told about that, right? I'm just, I have to call him 100 times. That is what you also mentioned, that we have to call him 100 times. Still, I should not get irritated and all. But in spite of it, now I have come to the state, like even if he's not clearing the exams or anything, I should continue to do it. Sometimes I get confused whether I should do the push or I should understand that maybe his Swadharma is not there and then let go. So these things actually confuse me actually sometimes. Because
So
right now his exams are going on.
as a mother,
Yeah.
your duty is to be able to, let's say, tell him, but not mentally. We are in fear and anxiety because we have not accepted many outcomes that will happen if he doesn't do his exam well, or if he doesn't do his job well. So what can you do about that? You can't do anything much by just working on seeing that as a trigger and then see what it is doing to you. Because the quality of life that we get through POSEs are based on our own inner quality. That is what we call as karma. What can we do about it? We can't do much except that nourish the divinity within it even more and more. Like that sadhana has to get even more stronger. Then why do we do sadhana? The sadhana is saying, God, I know whatever is happening is right. Whatever is coming is absolutely right for me, but I can't see it. So when I nourish the divinity within me, I'm willing to be surrendering that job to God to bring that kind of mindset within me, that to accept whatever is there in front of me while I still do my duty as a mother. It's not, I'm still getting anxious. I'm still being in fear because I don't like that outcome where he fails. Because when he fails, maybe my neighbors are going to ask me, what happened? Or my relatives are going to say
Actually,
all of
this
that.
time only I got to know I am pushing it for that fear of getting that pinpoint. Okay. But now when I got that point, right, it is not that he has to do well. Okay. That authenticity for myself to be in the place where, okay,
Yeah.
this boy's, this
As a
son, this,
mother, this boy's
correct.
mother, or they'll say,
Ah,
yeah, the mother and father were like this. That is why the boy
correct,
is like
correct.
this.
That
Those are
one
the
I saw it
fears.
because this is coming during the exams in particular. Okay, but now when I got that right, now I understood. Now this just the day before, exactly, day before yesterday only, I got that. I am telling myself I am not going to worry and I'm just letting do. But the other part, only thing is because it is time, I cannot let explain, but I'm still continuing to push him everything. But now in a position that, okay, I should not irritate him or saying something really, poking him anything, but I will continue to make him study, and all. But without my knowledge, I'm saying like, okay, you are not getting the effort, you are not putting the effort. I continue to say that, but after a while, I say I stop it. Again, I continue. I think that is how will it go
Yeah,
when we have that
because there
consciousness.
is an outcome that you are still unable to face, unable to mentally be
Accept,
ready
is it?
for. You're not surrendered to few outcomes. You
Okay.
have to work on yourself and say, you have to run that in your mind and say, if that happens, these are the things that are going to happen. And you need to face those fears in your mind first. You need to run those fears in your mind. And then when you run those fears and you say, I am okay when that happens. What worst can
That's the
happen?
thing.
This person is going to talk about these things with me. I am going to face it. I'm willing to hear it. And I am okay when it happens. So
I
you
remember
should go
this.
and then look at all those outcomes that you are actually not willing to look at as of now, which is why all of this anxiety, fear, and other.
Correct.
So surrender is a state. You say, when you say surrender, sometimes today you may surrender, tomorrow it will not work. Tomorrow again you'll be back to
Exactly.
square one, right? Every day
Correct.
you need to be able to do that, because that like I said, some belief systems are so strong, or with some people in that close relationship, that you need to keep putting that investment every single day for that energy to build first. Initially, the energy will not build even if you do every single day. Today morning you have surrendered, but again you'll have the fear in the evening.
Correct.
Fear is not an issue. It's not just because you
But
surrender doesn't mean
surrender
you'll
state.
have fear. When that
Correct.
fear comes, you should still say, yeah, I know I have fear, but I'm okay to face that fear when it happens. You're telling your ego, it's okay, yaar, be comfortable with that outcome. I'm okay with it. You
Okay.
also be okay with it.
Okay. Okay. So
Why
this
does that
kind of
ego keep
talks.
reminding us, hey, this is there, this is there, this is there? Because the ego obviously is not okay with uncomfortable situations. It's threatened by some non-safety issues. So you're saying it's okay, yaar, it's okay. I'm okay with that outcome. I'm safe. We are safe. Let's accept it. It's okay, fine. If he fails, okay, fine. Yeah, what worst can happen? One more year. Maybe in that failure
Correct.
will teach him one more lesson. Maybe that is a way for him
Correct.
to learn. Maybe his inner fire will blossom even more. Maybe that is what God is trying to teach me. See, typically when you surrender, magic happens. I can guarantee that. See, even
Yes.
for me,
Because
there are
the
similar
same thing.
situations. But I have surrendered after many attempts. I have surrendered, and I feel this time it has relatively strengthened. Rather, it's relatively stronger compared to the past. So we have to keep doing it and keep facing outcomes that we are trying to avoid, that we fear, that we are anxious about. So run through those outcomes and say, it's okay when that happens, it's okay. And be willing to keep doing that surrender every now and then. Because that is our job. Our job is to
Yeah,
learn surrender and acceptance. It is not
correct.
about
Because
making
I
somebody
felt
pass or
this.
fail.
Exactly, you said me when my mother was admitted, you told me to think of the worst case, even she's getting bedridden or something worse happens. I exactly ran through that, but she came out really well, and and that is when I started thinking how she should pass her last days should be, but that's what exactly happened. She just died on my arms, and I could see it because I was running through that, and I was completely in surrender. And every time I leave her, I tell that, okay, it's the God that who's going to take her, it's not me. And I was in that surrender state with my mother. I think I will start doing that, replaying of those things. Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay,
friends,
thank
we'll
you.
stop here. Otherwise, there are people who are seeing the recording will be like, oh my God, this is not finishing at all. Okay, chalo. To Supreme God, I thank you for your divine blessings, to my spiritual teacher, to all the spiritual teachers, holy masters, all the saints, holy angels, spiritual helpers, and all the great ones. We thank you for your great blessings. Thank you so much. Thank you, friends. Thank you for attending. Be blessed. Bye.